men, where have you gone? Please come back. So many men have retreated from intimacy, hiding behind firewalls, filters, and curated personas, dabbling and scrolling. We miss you. If you miss us so much, why did you drive us away? Yeah, you want to know where we've gone away from you. Look, you've been saying for years that you need a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Men are the problem. Toxic masculinity is the problem. Oh, if only these evil men would stop objectifying me, being sexist towards me, yada, yada. Just, okay, enough. Fine, we're done. But as soon as we walk away, oh, I was only pretending to be regarded. Come on, it's just a prank, bruh. You're totally going to come back and pay all my bills for me, right, bruh? You're totally going to bail me out in my old age when I'm, post-wall and desperate, right? No. Nope, you're done. We heard you loud and clear. You hate us. You want nothing to do with us. You could do anything without us. We're just holding you back. All right? So that means that for the first time in human history, we can focus on ourselves instead of sacrificing ourselves thanklessly for a bunch of 304s. And now it's a problem, huh? Weird. May 17th, a warm Saturday night at Wicker Park, a vibrant stretch of Chicago where 7 restaurants crowd a single block. And it's all women, right? Troy and I were having dinner at Mama Delia, one of the quieter spots. The sidewalk patio held 5 tables, 3 two-tops, including ours, and a pair together for a group of 8 whammons. At those tables, Troy was the only man. So it's funny, isn't it? Like, outside of foodies, like, men don't really eat out. I sure as hell know I don't. Most of the men that I know that aren't foodies, they don't eat out either. Like, eating out is something, it's something we do for women. Just like having fancy cars, because, dude, unless you're a car guy, most guys don't give a fuck about cars. They only want fancy cars because women like fancy cars. So as soon as men stop trying to appeal to women, they stop doing a lot of these activities that are just colossal wastes of time and money, and entire industries start collapsing. It's really hilarious. The scene was beautiful. Low lights, shared plates, shoulders angled in, the kind of evening people wait for all winter. Still, I found myself watching the crowd as it moved past us, women walking in pairs or alone, dressed with care. At a table after table in nearby restaurants, there's noticeable absence of men, at least of men seated in what looked like dates. Yeah, congratulations, women. You finally drilled through our thick skulls that you don't want us. And now you're like, inconveniently, you're learning you may not want us, but you need us. So you're slowly trying to woo us back in, but it's not going to work. Troy and I have known each other for almost 20 years. And how many times has he hit that during those 20 years? We met at Playboy, of all places, back when we were both learning how desire gets packaged, sold, and sometimes misunderstood. We stayed close friend, bonded not just by our opinions, but our the effort it takes to stay in someone's life. So again, how many times has he hit that? That night, we made the effort. Still, what I saw unfolding around us felt like something else entirely, a collective shift I couldn't unsee. So you were allegedly on a date with this guy who apparently after 20 years never hit that. And you don't care about him. You're more interested in the women around you. Beta. That's correct. It started to become clear that in the previous April, where a man who had been pursuing me canceled dinner at the last minute. There was a scheduling mix-up with his son's game. I understood. I'm a hockey mom. I get it. Still, I went. I wore what I would have worn anyway. I took the table, ordered well. I watched the room. Only 2 tables nearby seemed to hold actual dates. The rest were groups of women or women alone, each one occupying her space with quiet confidence. No shrinking, no waiting, no apologizing. Yeah, that's right, ladies. Be strong. Be confident. You don't need no man. Hey, that night marked something, not heartbreak, but an unveiling. A sense that what I've been experiencing wasn't just personal misalignment. It was something broader, cultural, a slow vanishing of presence. Yeah, after decades of being shit on, men finally had enough. Now, see, this is what surprises women more than anything. They thought that men are so addicted to sex that they can mistreat them forever. They could keep escalating the mistreatment, and men would always keep coming back because they're that addicted to sex. And they were shocked to realize that even the most pussy whipped men have their limits. And now they're at a loss. Now they've never been in this situation before. They've never collectively been in a situation where they can't use sex appeal to get their way out of it. So it's really hilarious seeing them disarmed like this. Now, I spent over a decade behind the curtain of digital desire as the custodian of records for Playboy and its affiliated hardcore properties, including sites like Spice TV. I was responsible for some of the most infringed upon adult content in the world. I worked closely with copyright attorneys and marketing teams to understand exactly what it took to get a man to pay for the content he could easily find for free. So, what did you come up with? That it's not possible? We knew what worked. Yeah, and that's why Playboy is a dead brand, by the way. They know what works. We knew how to frame a face, a gesture, a moment of implication, the money shot, just enough to ignite fancy and open a wallet. I came to understand in exact terms what cues tempt the average 18 to 36-year-old cis heterosexual man, what drew him in, what kept him coming back. It wasn't intimacy, it wasn't mutuality, it was access to stimulation, clean, fast, and frictionless. And this is the best part of this article. This is a woman that prides herself on knowing how to use sexuality to manipulate a man, and she can't find a man. Let that sink in. I guess the men aren't letting themselves be manipulated as easily as you thought they were. In that world, there's no need for conversation, no effort, no curiosity, no reciprocity, no one's feelings to consider, no vulnerability to navigate, just closed loop of consumption. And that is the primary reason why 2D drawings are winning, because they deliver what men want without any of the negatives. And what do you mean by negatives? Well, you know, when these women loudly proclaim, I am more than just a pretty face and a pair of tits, and you will respect that. Yeah, I agree. And that more is what we put up with to gain access to the stuff we actually want, aka the pretty face and the pair of tits. The 2D anime waifus give us access to what we want without any of the annoying BS that we normally have to put up with to get it. And what struck me most wasn't the extremity of the content, it was the emotional vacancy behind it, the drift. The way many men had quietly withdrawn from intimacy and vulnerability, not with violence or resistance, but with indifference. Yes, apathy is how we win. Have I not been saying this for decades now? Once we stop caring, we win. Because at that point, there's nothing they can do anymore. They hold zero power. They weren't sitting across from someone on Saturday night trying to connect. They were scrolling, dabbling, disappearing behind firewalls, filters, and curated personas. And while they disappeared, whammers continued to gather, to tend, to notice who wasn't arriving, and to show up anyway. And they all take zero responsibility for driving men away, too. Every single woman will come out and say, oh, yeah, this is all feminism's fault. And yet every single one of them will ignore their part in that feminism. It's collectively every other woman's fault but my own. I'm just a victim in all this. I didn't do nothing. I did everything right. I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. I'm 54. Ooh, way past the wall. I've been dating since the mid-'80s, been married, been a mother, gotten divorced, had many relationships long and short. I remember when a part of heterosexual male culture involved showing up with women to something, to signal something, status, success, desirability. Yeah, and then once the apathy kicks in, like, dude, once guys stop chasing pussy, they start realizing just how little money they actually need to survive. It's a nice process. I mean, it's a pretty awesome awakening to come to be honest. All of a sudden, spending $300 a month on gacha games doesn't seem like that big of a deal when you're saving over $1,000 a month by just not chasing pussy anymore. And whammies were once signifiers of value, even to other men. It wasn't always healthy, but it meant that men had to show up and put in some effort. Yeah, and then men collectively realized, like, wait up, how much value does this actually have? That's when men started asking the famous, what do you bring to the table question. And that's when it all fell apart. Right, that dynamic has quietly collapsed. We have moved into an era where many men no longer seek women to impress other men or to connect across difference. They perform elsewhere alone. They filtered us out. Yeah, there's only so much hatred you can throw at a man before he tunes out. You're lucky these men are filtering you out, because the alternative is this: like, some of them might get violent with you. I think it's for the best that they're just quietly walking away. I recently experienced a flicker of possibility with James. That's not the guy you were with. Oh, wait, maybe James isn't a beta. We met on Raya, the dating app. People use dating apps. There was something mutual from the start: wordplay, emotional precision, a tone that felt attuned. It was brief, it caught light. I remember saying to him, even fleeting connections matter and they're mutual and lit from the inside. I meant it. There was just enough spark to wonder what might unfold, enough curiosity to imagine a doorway. Yeah, that's her perspective. Meanwhile, from his perspective, he was probably like, how much more am I going to have to humor her to let her sleep with, or for her to let me sleep with her? Because all I want is to get my dick wet, and if this starts taking too long, I'll find someone else. But he didn't step through it, not with a plan, not with a presence. He hovered, flirting, retreating, offering warmth, but no direction. Sexual tension and a spark aren't a reason enough to sit still and hope there's substance behind the shimmer. So I named what I felt. I texted him clearly with care, not simply to declare attraction, but to extend a real invitation to explore what was possible. I didn't chase, I invited, leaving the door open if he ever wanted to cross the threshold, not just to take, but to meet. I was willing, I wanted, I still do. He never replied. Yeah, this is probably one of those moments where they had one date, and all of a sudden she was texting him, "Hey, are you seriously considering marriage?" And he's like, "Nope, not with you. I'm getting out of this." This is clearly something I don't want to get too far into. He still follows my Instagram stories. One of those small gestures of passive engagement, as so many of us now mistake for closeness. It looks like interest. It feels like silence. Is he actually following, though? Look, we all have followers on or we all follow people on our various social media accounts that we don't actively engage with in any way anymore. Are you sure that you're not just someone he forgot to unfollow? Like, is he actively following you? Because that's the important part. There are thousands of Jameses. I've known dozens. The arc varies, but the undertow is familiar. What I won't entertain is directionless orbiting. That thing so many men now seem to mistake for connection, the perpetual maybe, the emoji check-ins, the casual seeing where it goes without ever going anywhere. We call it a situationship, but mostly it's avoidance, abdication of ownership, of feeling, of behavior, of sex that isn't a means to an end, but is communion. That's what you call it, but the guys aren't interested in that. They're like, I still don't mind having sex every once in a while. I'm willing to humor this woman as long as she's willing to put out. But as soon as she's not, we're done. Like, I don't want a deeper relationship. There's no point in seeking a deeper relationship with modern Western women. Now, there was a time not so long ago when even a one-night stand might end with tangled limbs and a shared breakfast, and the act of staying the night didn't announce a relationship, even the willingness to be human for a few more hours. Now, even that kind of unscripted contact feels rare. We've built so many boundaries. We've walled off the very moments that make connection memorable. Well, no shit, because when guys tried to play this game, they were called sexist. They were called predators. There was false accusations lobbied at them. So This is why the apathy was the best response. Like, okay, there's just way too much risk engaging with these people, so I'm just not going to engage. And frankly, morning sex is often the best sex. Sometimes you even get a side of eggs before you disappear from their bed and their life forever. This idea that vulnerability is a threat instead of an invitation has created a culture of hesitation, of men seeking intimacy but never entering it. Well, you think a contributing factor to this could also be the number of times women tell you to be vulnerable with them and then they take advantage of that vulnerability later. All of a sudden, all of your friends are hearing your deepest, darkest secrets because you offended her or something. It's not worth the risk, man. Like Barbarossa said decades ago, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. There's all just thousands of tiny silos, everyone performing closeness, but no one's making a move that binds. Isolation, loneliness, a hunger for contact that has nowhere to land. I think you're reading too much into it. Like you were onto it at the beginning when you talked about the apathy. Guys just don't care anymore. This is you projecting your own feelings onto them. Like most guys now, they're like, yeah, I'll play the game every once in a while when I feel like having sex, but otherwise they're just a nuisance and I avoid them. That's basically it. Maybe we're between paradigms, mourning what's fallen, not yet fluent in what comes next. The infrastructures of intimacy, slowness, curiosity, accountability have been eroded by haste, convenience, and kind of sanctioned emotional retreat. Nothing at all to do with feminism and how that ruined relationships. No, it's all men's fault. Yeah, it's got to be it. Haste and convenience and emotional retreat and immaturity. Yeah, it's all that. It's not feminism. Nothing to do with strong, independent women who don't need no man at all. It's not about blaming men. It's about noticing the imbalance. It's about grieving what's not meeting us. It's about refusing to dress up or dress it up as personal failure when it's actually a collective reality. No. So what a lot of women don't understand is men didn't really enjoy doing any of these things. They did it because it was expected of them. It's almost all like in every relationship, it's almost always the man making the sacrifices, doing things he hates doing to keep his woman happy. And now men have stopped doing that and are focusing on what makes themselves happy. And women are just confused. Like, what did you think men enjoyed doing all this? No, they were doing it to keep you happy. But now that they don't care about you, they don't need to do it anymore. So here's what I say: you are missed not just by me, but by the world you once helped shaped. Well, if you really miss us, why don't you prove it by rolling back feminism? But by fixing the family courts and the legal system that make men reluctant to engage with women. Once we see actual progress on that front, a lot of men would probably be willing to come back. But we just don't see it, though. So nothing but a bunch of pointless complaining as far as I'm concerned. It's time for you to start making sacrifices, ladies. So for the longest time, they keep tacking on expenses and risks for even, interacting with them, for being in these relationships, while they take away benefits. Oh, what? You think you're entitled to me doing this for you? You don't own me. Oh, by the way, I expect you to do all these things for me, though. Oh, okay. So eventually, yeah, after taking away benefits and stacking on costs, yeah, high risk, negative rewards, yeah, men just noped out. So if you want men to come back, you're going to have to remove risks and add rewards for the men. I don't see any woman doing this. It's all just empty words and lip service. Like that's the best they got to offer. And we remember you, the vision of you lingering at the table, the laugh, that laugh from the chest that asked questions and waited for answers, that touched without taking, that listened, really listened when a woman spoke. Yeah, this tells us everything we need to see. We missed the things you did for us. We don't really need you, but we do kind of miss the things you did for us. You're not gone, but your presence is thinning in restaurants and friendships, in the slow rituals of romantic emergence. No, that's not there anymore. Like, guys at this point understand if they want romance, they need to go overseas to get it. Now, you've retreated not into malice, but into something softer and harder all at once: avoidance, exhaustion, disrepair, apathy. That's you said it earlier. It's apathy. And this woman is basically proving everything I've been saying, that apathy is the best way to deal with attention whores. Once you starve them of attention, yeah, that hurts them more than anything. Because even if you hated them, they still get off that you're thinking about them. If you literally just scrub them from your life entirely and never give them the time of day, that hurts them so much more. Knowing that they're worth nothing to you. And maybe no one taught you how to stay. Have you ever considered that maybe they, instead of no one teaching them how to stay, they were just driven off one too many times until eventually they just say, yeah, fine, I get the hint. Maybe you tried once and it hurt. Maybe the world told you your role was to provide, to perform, to protect, but never to feel. Yeah, it's been way more than once. And you want some proof? How about all those stories recently of women that try dating as men and realize how horrible the dating market is for men? Maybe you should try that. Maybe you should try using dating apps as a man. And then you might understand why men have just had enough. Like, it's just not worth it. But here's what's real. We never needed you to be perfect. We needed you to be with us, not above, not muted, not masks, just with. Yeah, we needed you there in case we needed something from you. But now that you're not there anymore, things are getting kind of hard. So can you come back and do these things for us again? And you can still come back, not by becoming someone else, but by remembering what connection feels like when it's honest and slow, when it's earned and messy and sacred. This woman didn't even stop to think, what if men don't want to come back? That thought has never even crossed her mind. Like, what if men as a whole have realized they're happier this way? What if they have no intention of ever coming back? What if they don't want to come back? Yeah, and here you are. Oh, yeah, well, we're going to let you come back. Yeah, you just need to put up with all these negatives, but you can come back. Like, I don't want to come back, though. You're really going to have to make it worth my while if you want me to ever come back. And I'm not seeing any moves in that direction. We're still here. Those of us who are willing to co-create something true. We are not impossible to please. We're not asking for performances. I don't know, man. The dating apps will prove otherwise. We are asking for presence, for courage. Yeah, that's right. We only need you to be a beta orbiter. That's basically what she's saying. For a breath and eye contact, and to say, I'm here. I don't know how to do this perfectly, but I want to try. Yeah, but look, guys don't even want to do that, though. Like, that's the thing that these women don't even realize. What if guys don't want to come back? What if they found something they like better? Come back not with flowers or fireworks, but with willingness, with your whole beautiful and perfect heart. We're still here. We haven't stopped hoping. As for me, I'll keep showing up, not because I'm waiting, but because I know what it feels like when someone finally arrives. I'm sure one of your girlfriends will. I think it's about time to consider lesbian relationships, really. Because guess what? Guys are fine going solo. Guys are fine living the lives of hermits. Women can't seem to manage that, though. So once they chase the guys away and the guys aren't willing to make sacrifices for them anymore, like, it's over. I think this is just the beginning, though. We're going to be seeing a lot more of these articles as time goes by. And I'm glad to report no one's falling for it. Pretty much every guy is like, yeah, how about instead of empty words, you give us actions? Oh, you want us back? Well, start by defanging the family court system. Start by making it harder for men to be screwed over. Start by rolling back feminism. Oh, you don't plan on doing that? Yeah, that's fine. We're okay continuing to live as solitary hermits. This lifestyle doesn't bug us any. Sure seems to bug you, though. Oh, well, as they say, this sounds like a whole lot of not my problem to me. My life has never been better. I really don't care that the same isn't true for you.